April 6, 1943. Tunisia, North Africa. British troops attacking German positions. Lieutenant Colonel Lorne Campbell leading the assault. They capture a German strongpoint. Find a prisoner, not just any prisoner, a German battalion commander, high-ranking officer. Campbell looks at the battlefield ahead. 800 yards of open ground. No cover. German machine guns dominating every approach. His men will die trying to cross. Unless... Campbell makes a decision. Bring the German commander. He's coming with us. His officers. Sir? Campbell. In front. He leads the advance. What he did next saved his men's lives, won him the Victoria Cross, and sparked a debate that continues 80 years later. Was it brilliant tactics, or was it a war crime? This is Lieutenant Colonel Lorne Campbell, the Scottish officer who used a captured enemy as a human shield, and won Britain's highest honor for doing it. Okay, before I start this story, I gotta say something. This one's controversial, very controversial. Some of you will watch this and say he was a hero. Some of you will say he committed a war crime. Both of you might be right, and that's why this story is interesting. Lorne MacLean Campbell was born July 22, 1902, in Scotland. He came from a military family. Father was an officer. Young Lorne joined the army too. 1920s, Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders, Scottish regiment. He rose through the ranks. Good leader, calm, strategic thinker. 1939, World War II started. Lorne was 37 years old, lieutenant colonel, commanding a battalion. 1942 to 1943, North Africa campaign, Britain versus Germany and Italy, Rommel's Africa Corps, British 8th Army, desert warfare, brutal, unforgiving. Lorne Campbell was there with his battalion. He fought in several battles, performed well, but he wasn't famous yet, not a legend yet, not until April 1943, April 6, 1943. Wadi Akarit, Tunisia. The British 8th Army was attacking German defensive lines under Montgomery, trying to push Rommel out of Tunisia. Lorne Campbell's battalion was assigned to the assault. Target: German fortified positions, hills, trenches. It was tough. The Germans were dug in, ready, machine guns, artillery support. But the British had to attack. The night assault began. Campbell led his men. Darkness, chaos, explosions, screaming. But they advanced, captured the first German position. Heavy casualties, but they did it. Then at first light, they assessed the situation. They'd taken prisoners, German soldiers, among them a German battalion commander, an Oberst, colonel equivalent, high-ranking. Campbell's men brought him back. Sir, we captured a senior officer. Campbell: good, keep him secure. But then he looked at the next objective, the next German position, 800 yards away. Between them, completely open ground, sand, gravel, no trenches, no trees, and every inch covered by German machine guns. Campbell looked at his officers. They saw it too. It was written on their faces. If we cross that, we'll be slaughtered. What would most officers do? Call for artillery, request air support, wait for tanks, something to suppress those German machine guns. But Campbell's artillery was limited. No air support available. Tanks were elsewhere, and the attack had to continue. Couldn't lose momentum, Campbell thought. Then he looked at the captured German officer, the Oberst, standing there, guarded, waiting with British soldiers. And Campbell had an idea. Bring the German commander. His officers. Sir? Campbell: bring him. Now. The German Oberst was brought forward. Campbell looked at him. The Oberst looked back. Neither spoke the other's language, but something was understood. Campbell turned to his officers. He's coming with us, in the advance. Officers: sir, we should send him to the rear for interrogation. Campbell: no, in front. He'll lead the British advance. Silence. The officers understood what he meant. Someone: sir, that's... Campbell: that saves our men. Now, Campbell's thinking was this: the German machine gun crews will see the Oberst, their own commander, at the front of the British advance. Will they fire? Will they shoot their own officer? Campbell's bet: no, they can't. Morally, they can't. And the British can get across. But think about this for a second. Using a prisoner as a combatant shield. Under the Geneva Convention, forbidden war crime. You can't use prisoners as human shields. Did Campbell know this? Probably. Did he care in that moment? No, because he had two choices. Follow the rules. Send his men across that open ground. Watch most of them die. Break the rules. Use the German commander. Save his men. Campbell chose the second. The British soldiers formed up. The Oberst was placed in front of them, right at the front, visible. British troops behind him. Tight formation. Campbell, move out. And they walked across the open ground. 800 yards, the Oberst in front, British behind, slow, deliberate, visible to everyone. At the German positions, the machine gun crews saw them. British coming, easy targets. They prepared to fire. Then they saw it was their Oberst walking at the front with the British. The machine gunners looked at each other. Is that our commander? Do we fire? We'll hit him. But the British, they hesitated, and that hesitation was all Campbell needed. The British kept walking. 100 yards, 200 yards, 400 yards, not a single shot fired. The German machine gun crews couldn't shoot because they'd kill their own commander. At some German positions, officers shouted, "Fire!" But the soldiers didn't. They couldn't. This was their Oberst. They'd sworn loyalty to him. How could they shoot him? 800 yards. The British crossed all of it, without a single casualty. Zero. Across completely open ground because a German commander was walking in front, and the Germans couldn't shoot him. British forces reached the German position, attacked, captured it. Success. The Oberst, alive, still a prisoner. Sent to the rear, then to a POW camp. Survived the war. Campbell's battalion took their objective. Minimal losses. April 1943. Campbell's actions were reported. His superiors read them, saw what he'd done. Recommendation: Victoria Cross, Britain's highest military honor, for most conspicuous bravery. But there was a problem. Everyone knew Campbell had used a prisoner as a human shield. That was technically a war crime. The British military faced a dilemma. Give him the Victoria Cross, reward someone who broke the rules of war, or deny it and admit the tactic was wrong? They decided. They gave him the Victoria Cross, awarded April 1943. The citation reads, "Displayed conspicuous gallantry and outstanding leadership." It doesn't mention the human shield, but everyone knew. Campbell knew. The army knew. The Germans definitely knew. Why did they give it? Because results mattered. Campbell saved his men's lives, took his objective, completed the mission. And in war, sometimes results matter more than rules. Britain decided that. May 1945. War ended. Campbell survived, stayed in the army for a while, then retired. Entered politics, became a member of parliament. Conservative Party, served from 1964 to 1987. Long, successful career, but the Wadi Akarit incident was never forgotten. Military historians debated it. Some, he was a hero. He saved his men. Some, he was a war criminal. He violated prisoner rights. Campbell himself never apologized. When asked in interviews, he said, "I saved my men's lives. I'd do it again." War isn't fair, it's survival. He died May 7, 1991, age 88, lived a long life, Victoria Cross holder, controversial hero, but not forgotten, never forgotten. Now, I want to ask you a question. Was Lorne Campbell right? Think about it. You're the commander. 1943, Tunisia. In front of you, 800 yards of open ground, German machine guns covering every inch. You have to send your men across, but you know many will die, maybe most. Then you see the captured German officer, and there's an option. Walk him in front. Use him as a human shield. The Germans probably won't fire. Your men will survive, but it's a war crime. What would you do? Some of you will say, rules are rules. I wouldn't do it. You're right. The Geneva Convention is clear. You can't use prisoners as combatants. Campbell violated that. He technically committed a war crime. But some of you will say, I'd save my men. By any means. You're also right. A commander's duty is to protect his men. Campbell did that with a controversial method, but successfully. And that's the ugly truth of war. There are no easy answers. Campbell's choice wasn't simple. He was between two bad options. Follow the rules, watch your men die, break the rules, save your men. Which is right? Both. Neither. Some of you will ask, what about the German commander? Good question. He survived, went to a POW camp, released 1945. Did he ever talk about it after the war? No. No record of it. We don't know how he felt. Was he angry? Grateful? Both? He never said, but we know this. Campbell's tactic worked. 800 yards of open ground, 0 casualties, objective taken, mission complete. The Victoria Cross debate continues. Should it have been given to Lorne Campbell? Some military historians, no, it rewarded a war criminal. Others, yes, he showed leadership and courage. Results speak. What do I think? Doesn't matter. What matters is what you think. Because this isn't an easy story. It's not a simple hero story. This is complicated, in the gray area. And that's why it matters, because real heroes don't always make perfect choices. Sometimes they make ugly choices. Sometimes they break the rules. Sometimes they do whatever it takes to survive, and then they have to live with those choices. Campbell lived with it for 48 years after the war. He didn't apologize, but he probably thought about it. Every day, those 800 yards, that German commander, that choice. What does Lorne Campbell's story teach us? War isn't simple. Heroism isn't simple. Morality in war isn't simple. Campbell made a choice, one that saved his men but broke the rules. He won the Victoria Cross, but controversially. And maybe that's the right way, because the real world isn't black and white, it's gray. And in the gray area, decisions are hard, but you have to make them. Campbell made his and lived with the consequences. If this story made you think, hit that like button. Subscribe. Every week we rescue forgotten and controversial heroes from history. Drop a comment. Was Lorne Campbell right? Did he deserve the Victoria Cross? Or was he a war criminal? Thanks for watching. Thanks for remembering Lorne Campbell, the man who broke the rules, the man who saved his men, the man who won the Victoria Cross, and showed us that sometimes the hardest choices aren't between right and wrong. They're between two wrongs, and you have to choose which one is less wrong. Campbell chose. What would you choose?